In the opening scene of the film, a woman named Scarlett, clearly portraying the role of a prostitute, is about to service a man who walks in. Everything seems to be going smoothly until they are about to start. Suddenly, she squeezes his private parts, and in pain, the man grabs Scarlett's head, realizing she is wearing a wig. At that moment, someone attacks the man from behind, cutting his neck and causing it to bleed. Amidst the chaos, Scarlett delivers a knee to the man's groin and then shoots him with a shotgun. Though he manages to escape, he is forced to jump off a height to get away. The film, titled Duchess, unfolds through the narration of Scarlett herself and intriguingly starts with events from the end of the movie. The story kicks off in London, where Scarlett, along with her friend Michelle, works for a man named Adam. Their job is to use their physical allure to entice men who enter the club and then pickpocket them. In the midst of this scheme, a successful businessman named Rob suddenly finds himself captivated by Scarlett's stunning looks and charm. Rob, along with two of his companions, keeps a close watch on Scarlett's actions. He deliberately leaves his wallet in plain view, tempting Scarlett to snatch it. However, when she tries to grab it, Rob catches her hand, preventing the theft. Rob uses this opportunity to strike up a conversation with Scarlett, expressing his interest in her. However, Scarlett remains defensive and flatly rejects Rob's advances. She even threatens him, saying he should leave the club immediately or else she'll call her boyfriend, who is actually just her co-worker, to confront Rob. Coincidentally, Adam suddenly appears and asks what's going on. Scarlett quickly covers up, saying, "Nothing, he was just leaving." Rob's friends stand up, ready to step in if things get heated. Meanwhile, Adam takes Scarlett by the hand, and they leave together. As this is happening, the club's security team tries to stop Rob and his friends from getting involved. But Rob's friends, named Baraka and Danny, engage in a scuffle with the security team. They manage to overpower the security and make their way out of the club. Rob tracks Scarlett down to her boxing training club and asks Aunt Nellie, the woman in charge, about her whereabouts. As Scarlett is busy training in the ring, Rob watches her and tries to motivate her to fight harder. Initially, Scarlett is on the receiving end of the punches, but with Rob's encouragement, she eventually wins the round. However, before leaving the ring, Rob once again expresses his interest in Scarlett. Despite his persistence, Scarlett gives him a non-committal response and still doesn't agree to his advances. Scarlett visits her half-brother, Dave, and tells him about the situation with Rob. They take a break to play some PlayStation together. Later, she meets up with her friend Michelle, who is feeling under the weather with a fever and headache. Scarlett tells Michelle that she'll cover for her and work for Adam this time. When Scarlett returns, she finds Adam bullying and brutally beating Michelle. As soon as she tries to intervene, Adam shoves her aside and starts hitting Scarlett repeatedly in the face. Meanwhile, since Rob had someone keeping tabs on Scarlett, he's informed that she's been hospitalized due to her injuries. Rob rushes to be by Scarlett's side and reassures her that he's going to take care of Adam for what he did. He tells her she won't have to work for that scumbag anymore and promises, "I've got your back, don't worry." At the same time, Baraka and Danny break into Adam's place and give him a serious beating, making sure he learns his lesson not to treat a woman like that ever again. Rob and Scarlett build a strong romantic relationship, and during one of their romantic dinners, Rob buys her a ring. Everything is going well until one day, while getting out of their car in a parking lot, they are attacked by several armed men. Baraka and Danny immediately become their shield, allowing Rob and Scarlett to try and reach the elevator to keep Scarlett safe. As the elevator doors open, one of the attackers confronts Rob and Scarlett inside, while Baraka and Danny are outside, engaged in a firefight, taking down the attackers. A fierce struggle ensues between Rob and the assailant, and even Scarlett helps. Ultimately, Rob manages to grab his gun and fires several precise shots into the attacker's chest, taking him down. Baraka and Danny soon finish off the remaining attackers and meet Rob and Scarlett in the elevator. Rob tells Baraka to look after Scarlett while he and Danny go after those he knows are responsible for the attack. When Rob returns home, he finds Scarlett there. As he bandages Scarlett's hand wound, he tells her about his job. He explains that he is in the diamond trade and is an expert in it, with clients willing to pay millions of dollars for his goods. He mentions that sometimes he gets these diamonds for almost nothing because he knows the ropes. Later, Scarlett accompanies Rob to one of his diamond trade meetings. She introduces him to Victor, who is the right-hand man of a powerful and shrewd businesswoman named Charlie. After they hand over their weapons, Charlie welcomes them but wants to test their loyalty. She orders her team to draw their guns on Rob and his team. However, Rob and Baraka quickly disarm them, taking the weapons back. To further demonstrate her authority, Charlie then picks someone from her own team who has made a mistake. In a brutal show of power, she binds him and inflicts terrible suffering on him, forcing everyone to watch the horrific scene. Scarlett slips a diamond from her wine glass and hands it to Charlie. After verifying its authenticity, Charlie completes the deal with Rob, shaking his hand and saying, "It was a pleasure doing business with you." As they head back to the car, Baraka suggests that from now on, they should call Scarlett Duchess, since Rob is nothing less than a duke himself. Scarlett then visits her father, Frank, a deranged criminal for whom she feels a strange sense of pity. Frank, however, feels no remorse for his actions and boldly claims he would do it all over again if given a chance. Ultimately, Scarlett threatens him, warning that if he ever gets out and comes near her, she'll end him. Rob, who now seems like Scarlett's partner despite not being officially married, takes her to his mansion in Tenerife, located in the Canary Islands. He shows her his beautiful estate, which boasts stunning, endless views. Rob introduces Scarlett to his business partners, including Santiago, Marco, Johannes, and Tom. They are all Rob's associates with whom he has financial and business dealings. The next day, Rob says goodbye to Scarlett and heads to his business, where they deal in diamonds in a rather unconventional way. Suddenly, an assailant bursts in with a machine gun, attempting to kill Rob and everyone else. However, with the help of Baraka, Rob manages to take down the attackers one by one. Eventually, they use a grenade to create an explosion and manage to escape from the attackers. In the next scene, one of Rob's business partners tries to sexually assault Rob's housekeeper, Maria. Just in the nick of time, Scarlett arrives and prevents it. In the ensuing struggle, Scarlett successfully defends Maria and shoots Marco, who had become dangerously unhinged. When Danny learns about the incident, he informs Rob. In an attempt to manage the situation, Rob gives Maria some money and advises her to leave for her own safety. Rob is deeply upset by the fact that his partners put his wife in such a stressful situation, forcing her to kill someone. However, he doesn't blame her at all and tries to comfort her by holding her close. Meanwhile, Baraka and Danny dispose of Marco's body by feeding it to Rob's tiger, thus getting rid of the evidence. Rob then calls Tom to inform him about Marco's death, who happens to be Santiago's relative. Tom advises Rob, acknowledging that Santiago is a businessman, but warns him that family ties run deep. He suggests that Rob and Scarlett should find a safe place to hide and, if necessary, to kill Santiago. As Rob and Scarlett prepare to escape to safety, Santiago and his right-hand man, Johannes, arrive and force them to surrender at gunpoint. Rob, maintaining his composure, invites Santiago into his home, offering him a drink while secretly planning his next move. Calmly, he retrieves a gun hidden under the bar and skillfully kills Santiago. However, before he can escape the immediate danger, Tom arrives with his men. Rob is shocked to realize that Tom is actually a traitor. In a fit of rage, Rob headbutts Tom, striking him in the face. Tom eventually takes Rob and Scarlett and orders his men to kill Baraka, but Danny shows up just in time to save Baraka's life. Baraka uses the opportunity to throw the person holding him in front of the tiger. Later, when they are being taken to a remote location in a van, Rob tells Scarlett that if he survives this ordeal, he will marry her. The van stops, and two of Tom's team members, named Nacho and Leroy, take them out and force them to kneel in the middle of the desert. In front of Scarlett's eyes, they brutally stab Rob and finally slit his throat. Just as Nacho is about to shoot Scarlett in the head, Rob, in his final moments, manages to save Scarlett's life, although the bullet grazes her head. Nacho and Leroy assume they both die and think they'll just perish out there. However, Scarlett survives, but loses Rob. After mourning him briefly, she is forced to bury him right there and move on. She returns to the mansion, grabs some money and diamonds, packs her things, and leaves the place behind. After a brief phone conversation with Charlie, she goes to see her. Charlie offers her condolences and tells Scarlett that Rob was truly a good man. However, Scarlett says she wants to kill them all and avenge Rob's death. Charlie scoffs at her, saying she doesn't have what it takes. But then Scarlett pulls a gun on Charlie. Although she's taken aback and not too thrilled, she ends up being impressed by Scarlett's guts. She agrees to let her work for her and take out all those bastards, telling her that their contract will last as long as she's alive. A week passes, and Scarlett has tracked down Nacho's location, watching him closely so she can finally stab him from behind. Just before she strikes, Danny suddenly appears, and Scarlett is relieved to see he's alive. Danny tells Scarlett that if she wants to do this, she needs to have a plan. Acting impulsively like this could get her killed. Then the opening scene of the movie is shown again, but in the end, just when Scarlett is about to shoot Nacho with a shotgun, a truck speeds by and completely runs him over, killing him. Baraka also shows up, and with Danny's hand injured, they leave together with Baraka's car. They go to a place where Maria has opened a bar and is running her business. Tom and Johannes have started to suspect that Danny and Baraka might be behind the revenge for their master, but they haven't considered that Scarlett might still be alive. Someone named Jono, who is actually Baraka's nephew, has come at Baraka's request to help them and gather information about their whereabouts. Later, a guy named Camp Fredo, who used to run with Santiago and Tom's crew, is brought in. After being forced to confess and having his hand pierced with a knife by Scarlett, he provides a few leads. In the end, Baraka even gives him some money because he promised to pay for information. Jono then talks a bit with Scarlett about the plan to wipe them all out. However, Jono points out that they'll need a lot of money and a strong army of men, especially lots of powerful guns. Scarlett assures him that the money is taken care of and spills diamonds onto the table. Michelle also shows up to help Scarlett, though Baraka initially thinks she's an enemy. Baraka and Danny track down an informant named Rift. After roughing him up and knocking him out, they hand him over to Scarlett to make him talk. Scarlett, with a brutal approach, smashes a liquor bottle over Rift's head and then uses a hot iron on a sensitive part of his body to make him squeal. In the end, poor Rift confesses and reveals the location. They're gearing up for a mission to finally track down and kill Rob's murderers. They infiltrate an airport, and using Jono's trickery, they distract the guards with Maria and Michelle posing as attractive women. Jono ultimately takes out the guards with a silenced weapon. However, they find the entrance locked, so they drive through it, eventually finding Tom's forces, and the battle begins. Scarlett tracks down Leroy, and after a chase, she confronts him. She manages to douse his face with gasoline and ignite it with a match, burning him and taking him out of commission. Meanwhile, Johannes and his men succeed in capturing Baraka and Danny, taking them away. After a phone call with Scarlett, Tom proposes they settle things through a discussion. However, driven by her thirst for revenge, Scarlett falls into Tom's trap. In the next scene, she's tied to a chair, and Tom uses a remote to shock her repeatedly, trying to extract a confession about whether Rob is dead or alive. Seeing Scarlett's stubborn resistance, Tom uses Danny as leverage, striking his injured hand with a hammer, prompting Scarlett to scream that Rob is dead, even though they had planned to kill Baraka with a drill as well. Scarlett then cleverly tells Johannes that Tom will ultimately kill him too, branding Tom as a traitor who would kill anyone to save himself, trying to turn them against each other. Just then, a group of backup forces arrives, creating an explosion that sends everything into chaos. Amidst the confusion, Jono attempts to free Scarlett, but Tom shoots him. Meanwhile, Baraka uses the drill to kill Johannes. Ultimately, Tom is forced to surrender, but Scarlett challenges him to a hand-to-hand fight. In the end, she lands a powerful punch that knocks him down and finally throws him in front of Rob's tiger to be devoured alive. Everyone is saved, and Scarlett thanks her brother for his help with the special forces. In the film's final scene, Scarlett is seen emerging from a pool, surrounded by Baraka, Danny, her brother, and Michelle. Suddenly, Her phone rings, and Charlie on the other end says she's ready to continue working with her and that they could be great partners. Scarlett declines, saying she's done with this line of work, and hangs up. She tells Baraka to take care of Rob's legacy and that the responsibility of the job is now his. As she drives away, Rift is seen observing her on a motorcycle, and suddenly her car explodes. But Scarlett quips, "Did you think it'd be that easy to kill me?" The scene rewinds to show that Scarlett had realized the trap and had jumped out of the car just in time. In the end, unbeknownst to Rift, Scarlett is still alive and takes him down from behind, bringing the film to a close.